What's going on, guys? Let's talk a little bit about lane filtering and lane splitting. So I believe the main difference is that lane filtering is this: whenever traffic stopped, you can filter between the cars and get ahead of traffic at the light. And lane splitting is when the cars are moving and you're moving and you can split lanes. You can go basically in between traffic. Let's get away from these cars because they're just driving next to each other. So usually this is not legal in most states in the US. I live in California, so both are legal here, which is why I never really bothered to look up the specific terms for each. But it's legal for me to do this here. And as you guys can see there, the cars were next to each other, so I went. It is, some people say that it's not safe. It is very dangerous. There are both sides to it. So here's the deal. Whenever I'm sitting in traffic, when I was driving my car, I've been rear-ended before. And I don't want to sit in traffic on my motorcycle and be rear-ended, because that would be a lot worse than being rear-ended on my car. And that was on my car. It happened on a basically not moving at all traffic. We're just sitting in traffic, cars were not moving. There was an accident on the bridge, and I was just before the bridge going to work. Out of nowhere, this lady just lets go of the brake, hits the gas, and hits me. And for no reason. It was literally like not a single car was moving. Not even the car in front of me was not moving. The car behind her was not moving. Out of nowhere, I guess she was on her phone. She just let go of the brake, hit the gas, and rear-ended me. It is super windy today, so I apologize if you guys cannot hear me well. So, lane filtering is very good to stay ahead of traffic when you're in town. So whenever you get to a stoplight like this here, right, and there's a line of cars here on both sides, you go in between them, you get to the front of the light, and then you just take off. It's a lot safer than sitting in traffic, because you will leave all of the traffic behind you. So you're basically, most of the time, whenever I'm riding on this road here, I get to a light. If there are cars there, I get ahead of everyone, and then I just take off. Everyone stays way back there, and I'm riding solo, right? So I'm basically just riding by myself, away from any cars, away from anyone. So it is a lot safer. And lane splitting, which is like this, can be a little more dangerous, so you gotta be extra careful. So a lot of times I will try not to do lane splitting over 40 miles per hour. But also when traffic slows down like this, I slow down a lot to give me enough time to stop, just in case. And things you gotta watch out for is whenever you see big gaps in front of the cars, and if they're not next to each other, for example, like the gray car on the left here could move over to this spot on the right. So you be extra careful for those little spots, right? I'm pretty familiar with this area here, so I do ride a little bit faster than usual. But here's the thing, like both the right lane is moving, so I'm chilling here until traffic slows down again, then I'll lane split a little bit. I'm not gonna go all crazy here, because that's when it becomes super dangerous. So whenever traffic slows down like this, people start switching lanes. You have to be extra careful, because if you get hit, that's on you, that's not on them. okay, and you're the one going down, so it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong if you're on the floor. Alright, so traffic stopping, as I mentioned, I will basically try to get to the front of the line. Basic lane filtering. Here we go. So now I just take off a little bit faster than the cars, and there are some cars ahead of me, but the other cars are way back there, so I'm basically riding solo now, right? This is why I believe it's safer than sitting way back there in that line in traffic waiting for someone on their phone to come and just rear end you. Okay, so yeah, lane filtering is very safe, I believe, for motorcycles. It's very good for motorcycles, and I believe in some other states it is legal for lane filtering, not lane splitting. Lane splitting, there are, I would say it is still safer, because sometimes traffic slows down out of nowhere, and you could get rear-ended if you can't lane filter or lane split. But with lane splitting, you gotta be extra careful. As I mentioned, there are way too many variables. You gotta always be looking ahead. You gotta look like 5 cars ahead of you and be prepared for everything that people are gonna do. Right? You gotta be ready. You gotta be aware and be expecting someone to do something stupid. Okay? So whenever I lane split, I usually don't go crazy fast. A lot of times if I'm doing like faster lane splitting, I will often only pass cars whenever they're right next to each other. Because if one car is ahead, that leaves enough space for other cars to go in, and if you're going fast, you don't have enough time to stop. So, as you guys can see there, got to the front of the line, I'm riding solo again. And there's traffic. It's not like there's no traffic. But there is traffic. You just get ahead of traffic, and it's a lot safer. So I'm riding by myself now, right? There are no cars near me. The cars are way back there. If I see they're catching up, I just hit the throttle a little bit and get away from them. But this is mostly how it is when you're lane filtering, when you can lane filter and get ahead of traffic. I do one thing that I gotta fix about myself is that I do a lot of lane changing without using my signals, and I should, well, usually because there's no one around really, like all the cars are way back there, so it doesn't really matter, but you should still follow the law. So I gotta fix that. But one of the things too, when you're lane filtering and lane splitting, you're basically in between lanes, right? So you're like going back and forth between the 2 lanes. So it's impossible to use your signal when you're doing that. So another reason to lane filter and lane split is because it saves a lot of time. Like my commute to work is usually about 40 minutes on a motorcycle. Without traffic, probably about 30-35. But with traffic, since I have to slow down a lot, it's about 40 minutes. On a car, it usually takes me about an hour to an hour 30. You never know on a car. So if I'm doing like a if I'm doing, let's say, like if I'm commuting to work every day and you're doing like an hour to work every day, but then like random days you get like an hour and a half each way, it's a lot of time commuting every week. And in the Bay Area, it's very common to do 40 minutes to an hour commute. And my commute, if I was going to commute every day on a car, it's way too long. Like 40 minutes to an hour and a half. There were times that I was stuck on traffic for like 2 hours because there was an accident and there was nowhere to go. Which is one of the reasons that I decided to ride a motorcycle to work. God, the Tesla is going all fast and furious. Too bad he's gonna stay behind when we get here. Bye-bye. And there we go. Head of traffic. That's one of the things too. Whenever you can lane filter, lane split, you can get away from crazy drivers easier. Like I didn't try to step on the hit the throttle and go all crazy to get ahead of the Tesla, because freaking Teslas, man, they accelerate way too quick, and I didn't want to pop a wheelie. But you can lane filter, lane split, and get away from them, because they can't do that. So here's the thing, like I'm lane splitting at a higher speed, but I'm usually, whenever I pass a car, I usually try to pass them only when they're next to another car, not when there's a big gap. So here traffic's slowing down both lanes, so I'm gonna wait for a little bit. We're gonna start. This guy's giving me space here. Oh, that's another thing too. It's illegal on some other states, so a lot of people will try to cut you off just because they're mad at you for doing something wrong if you lane split. And here in California, since it's legal, a lot of people, whenever they see a motorcycle, they actually make space for you to go. So I think there is that side of safety as well. If it's legal, if it's legal in your state, people are not going to get mad at you for doing it, right? And a lot of people, they don't think before they act, and if they see you doing something wrong, like lane splitting, and they think you're doing something crazy illegal, and their claims that it's dangerous, they will put your life at risk by throwing their car in front of you, which is, make that make sense. But that's some people's thoughts, right? And we have seen plenty of those videos out there, people getting cut off by some crazy driver that was mad because a motorcycle was lane splitting or lane filtering. But when it's legal, people will move away. They will make way for you. As you guys can see, if you watch my commute videos, you guys will see that a lot of people, they will. It feels like I feel like Moses on the Red Sea. People just move left and right for me to go there. It's actually very funny, which is not something you see happening in other states because it's illegal. So that's the thing, the law adds up to it. So if you guys have any comments on this, what do you think? Is lane splitting safe? Is it not safe? Do you guys like the idea of lane splitting being legal in every state in the US? I think it should be legal. I think it makes it safer for all the motorcyclists out there, all the riders. But some people may disagree. So leave a comment, let me know. See you guys on the next one. Peace.